No leave. Hey, howdy. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. Continue from where we left off. Save. Apparently, we're about to learn about Juniper's mood matrix. How far am I in this? We only played it for 1 hour on Friday, and we have only gotten into we're still in the middle of the kind of the tutorial episode that they usually start with. You don't want to spoil yourself with Phoenix Wright. You haven't played it yet. Well, this is the 5th game, so it might all be very. I don't know how. It's up to your spoiler tolerance. But yeah, we're basically at the beginning of the 5th game. Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Anyway, alright, so start playing for me. I don't know. The thing about them is that they don't always necessarily. You've been told to pick this game up next. What, the Apollo Justice trilogy or the Phoenix Wright trilogy? Or there's so many of these games. Good heck. Anyway, all right. Pick up the whole series. Yeah. All right. Woods is like, Junie. Hi, Athena. She looks even worse off than before. Don't worry, Junie. We're here for you. Thanks, Athena. And I'll do my best, too. You blew up the courtroom because you bear resentment against the courts, correct? No, of course not. What's that you say? I can barely hear you. I haven't done anything wrong. This prosecutor's scary.
Objection!
What an impudent little girl. Stop acting innocent and tell the truth. Well, this is getting ugly. You rearmed the bomb because you wanted to blow up the courthouse. Admit it. That's why you went to the lobby where Mr. Justice was. Isn't that right? Mr. Wright, can I go give that prosecutor a smack? No, that's wrong. What? Of course not. Do we have to review Courtroom's Manners 101 again? We can't let it creep that bullies innocent girls like this off so easily. I haven't forgotten about how he treated you. Don't worry about me, just have Judy. Her heart's crying out. She's so scared. So very scared. Looks like Athena's picking something up with her heightened sense of hearing. And it sounds like this time it's the voice of Miss Woods' heart. Don't deny it. You stole the remote switch and used it in the courtroom, didn't you?
Objection!
Your Honor, please put a stop to this. Mr. Payne is badgering the defendant. Yes, Miss Woods does seem quite frightened. Mr. Payne, I ask that you behave more like a gentleman. But don't you know, Your Honor, there is no more a gentle man in this world than I. As if a gentleman, or even a gentleman, would behave like he does. Don't let that rude ruffian win. Athena. How dare you call a gentleman such as I a rude ruffian? I'll have you know I attend a manners class every Saturday. I'm more than just a mere gentleman. I'm a gentleman. Not when you're terrorizing a young lady, you're not. I'd demand my money back from that manners class if I were you. I should probably be the adult here and stop the two of them, but... Mr. Payne, that will be enough. Certainly, Your Honor. No further questions. Let's move on to the defendant's testimony. Ms. Woods, please share with the court what you were doing when the bomb went off. Witness testimony. When the bomb went off. Well, that day, I was watching from the gallery. The bomb went off. And rubble started falling. It fell on top of me. Okay. Joni's clearly in pain being forced to recall the bombing like this. She can't even get her words out. This isn't going to work, so what now? Hey, wait a minute. Even if she can't vocalize what she wants to say, we can listen to what's inside her heart. Yes, now's the perfect time to use Athena's power. You can hear it, can't you, Athena? The cries of Ms. Wood's heart? Yes, and they sound incredibly strained. She's so scared. I think she could collapse at any second. Athena has a unique ability, you see. With her finely tuned sense of hearing, she can hear the words of a witness's heart. In essence, she can sense how a person is really feeling from the tone of their voice. I guess it's all up to Athena and her special ability now. Athena, I want you to use the analytical psychology you studied and listen to the testimony of Ms. Woods' heart. Okay, boss. I'll give it a go. After all, this is the whole reason I put all that effort into studying analytical psychology. Okay, let's do this. So your holographic thingamabob can show us how Miss Woods is feeling, right? In a nutshell, yes. The emotions and images that I picked up on just now while listening to her testimony. I can enter all that into Widget and use the mood matrix to analyze it. Ooh. These mood markers here reflect fluctuations in Joni's emotions. When she feels happy or is enjoying the memory, the happy marker will light up. When she feels angry or frustrated, the angry marker will react. When she feels sadness or is frightened by a memory, the sad marker will blink. And when she feels surprised or confused, the surprise marker will let us know. So, with your special ability and Widget's Mood Matrix program, we can track how Ms. Woods is feeling as she testifies. Talk about the wonders of technology. Yep, now let's give it a shot. I'm picking up on some kind of discord or noise in Joni's heart. Noise level 100%. See here? Here's what the noise looks like in the mood matrix. It's a result of inconsistencies between her testimony and her feelings. If we can pinpoint these inconsistencies, the noise level should drop. Okay, it's time to listen to Ms. Woods' true testimony. Oh dear. So you got assembly and you got... Well, that day... Okay, so this is just step by step, okay? There's nothing to touch here besides going forward, okay? I was watching... I was watching from the gallery. The bomb went off. In surprise. And rubble started falling. It fell on top of me, happily, for some reason. I think I have a good grasp on Joni's emotional state now. This power of Athena's is incredible. And I'm seeing an unexpected emotion that's inconsistent with the root content of her testimony. What? Already? Look at this. When she says it fell on top of me, the happy markers react. Well, look at that. That is odd. There must be a reason for this contradictory emotion. We just need to do some digging. When you find unexpected emotion, you first need to pinpoint the L button, then select the unexpected emotion or reaction from the 4 mood markers with A. Okay, so press the pinpoint button. Left shoulder. What's the unexpected emotion? Okay, so I know that the green one is highlighted, but it doesn't seem to be allowing me to move selections to anywhere else. So I think I might be railroaded at the moment.
Got it!
Widget is registering joy when Ms. Woods recalls the rubble falling on her. There must be a reason for this unexpected emotion. Ms. Woods, as the rubble was falling, was there also something that made you feel happy? What? Mr. Wright, the feeling of happiness is spreading throughout Junie's heart. Keep going on this point, and I bet Junie will start to calm down. Great. Let's hear what she has to say. Just as I was about to escape the courtroom, the bomb went off. I was so startled, I tripped. And then rubble started falling on top of me. I really thought I was done for. But just then, Apollo came and rescued me. Oh, Apollo. He used his own body to shield me from the rubble. So that's when he sustained those injuries. How do you feel, Junie? Did talking about Apollo give you some courage? Yes, Apollo is just like the sun, strong and bright and warm. Just talking about him makes me feel like a leaf undergoing photosynthesis. You see, your coughing stopped all of a sudden. Oh, you're right. Thank you, Thena. Looks like we were able to draw out some new testimony. Pretty neat, huh? But there's still some noise left, meaning there must still be some discord in Junie's heart. I guess we'll have to keep going then. Let me input this new information and update the mood matrix, and we'll be good to go. You remember what to do, right? When I find an unexpected emotion, I should first pinpoint it with the left shoulder button. That's right. And then you select it from the mood markers with A. Hydrate? I can do that. Alright. Thank you, Irish Mail. Back. If we can find the reason for the discord in our heart, we should be able to draw even more new testimony out. Info update. I tried to run, but I was too slow. Before I could get away, the bomb went off. I was so startled I tripped, and rubble started falling on me. I thought I was done for. Info update. Huh? Oh, good heck, that's a lot of emotions going on. But then Apollo came and rescued me. Okay, so still under shock, happy because of Apollo, but why sad now? And that's the last emotion we have, so it's like it has to be here. Okay, here I can change what it is. So why is she sad about it?
Got it!
I guess. You were happy when Mr. Justice rescued you, weren't you? Yes, I was really happy. But was there also something you felt sad about at the same time? Sad? The reason I ask is, when you were describing how you were rescued, we sensed a little sadness, too. Oh. I think it's probably because of Bum-Rap Riney. Bum-Rap Riney? Well, what do you know? Something new. That's right. I brought my stuffed animal, Bum-Rap Riney, to watch the trial with me. Bum-Rap Riney and Phony Fanny are brothers. Who knew that the legal world could inspire a whole line of merchandise? I had Bum-Rap Riney with me while I was watching the trial. But it wasn't until Paulo saved me that I realized I'd lost him as I was running away. My poor Riney, a victim of that terrible bomb. Oh, I know. You can see what he looks like in this poster. No more bum raps. It's for the campaign to eradicate fake evidence, false charges. Phony Fatty and Bum Rap Riney, huh? Nothing against the campaign, but why an elephant and a rhinoceros? Mr. Right, I don't sense any discord in Joni's heart anymore. So I guess that means we managed to draw out all of her testimony. That's right. I'll just make an update with the new info, and we'll have the whole picture. So, do you think our new testimony will help? Absolutely. I don't know what I would have done without you, Athena. So, Bum-Rap Riney was in that courtroom when the bomb went off. Now that we know that, it changes the meaning of that other piece of evidence. All I have to do is present it at the right statement. Info update. I was watching from the gallery with Bum-Rap Riney. I tried to run, but I was too slow. Oh, the crying plushie in her hands, okay? Before I could get out of the courtroom, the bomb went off. I was so startled I tripped. Then rubble started falling. I thought I was done for. But then Apollo came and rescued me. That's Juni's complete testimony. Not bad, huh, Mr. Rat? I should focus on the new statements Ms. Wood made. The existence of Bum-Rap Riney should turn things around in our favor. It changes the meaning of a certain piece of evidence we already have. All I have to do is present it at the right statement. Okay, so presumably because she's holding this large Bum-Rap Riney, she couldn't also be ba-bum-bum. Well, oh, no, that's it. Okay, so the rhinoceros also has a tail. The tail is not Phony Fanties. The tail is actually the rhinoceros's.
Objection!
Let me through to here. Ms. Woods, I know this trial has been very hard for you, but you can relax now. You are, without a doubt, innocent. Mr. Wright, what wild assertion are you making now? My wild assertion is simply this. The two stuffed animals were mixed up. The tail the defendant's fingerprints were found on wasn't that of Phony Fanty. It was the tail of her gallery companion, Bum-Rap Riney.
Objection!
What nonsense is that? I can see they're both stuffed animals, yes, but they're completely different characters. An elephant and a rhino. They're as distinct as a defense lawyer and a prosecutor.
But are they really so different? Both defense lawyers and prosecutors strive to protect the peace through law. Even elephants and rhinos have some similar characteristics. They're both gray, for example. Anyway, this poster is all I needed to prove my assertion to be true. If I may direct the court's attention here, you'll clearly see how the two got mixed up. How did the two stuffed animals get mixed up?
Este.
Take that!
Well, would you look at that? The two tails are exactly the same. Yes, exactly. The two stuffed animals are based on entirely different animals. But the design of their tails is exactly the same. Order in the court. As long as the possibility exists the tail belongs to Bumrap Riley, we can no longer consider it to be decisive proof that the defendant handled the bomb. As things stand, I consider the charges against the accused unsubstantiated. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Payne?
Oh, yes, of course, Your Honor. Oh, that was great, Mr. Wright. You turned things right around. Yeah, it's not over yet, but at least we managed to hold out this long. I believe that brings our proceedings for today to a close. Mr. Payne, I'm afraid you have some serious investigating ahead of you. Yes, Your Honor.
Very well, let us reconvene tomorrow. Court is adjourned. December 17, 11:56 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby, number 5. That was so exciting, boss. We did it. True to form, you managed to just barely pull it off at the very last moment. True to form? Gee, I never knew you had such a glowing opinion of me. Thank you for everything you're doing. You did great, Ms. Woods. You really stuck it out. You got really brave at the end just when we needed you most, Junie. Thanks to you, we were able to turn things around. Well, you were the one who gave me that courage, Thena. Really? Thanks. So, be honest, was I any help at all? Of course. Without you, we would never have gotten out of that tight spot. That's good to hear. I may still have a lot to learn, but you can bet I'm going to give my all. I'll be so good that one day you call me your partner. And that's what I like to hear. Analytical psychology, the ability to solve the riddles of a person's heart. Athena's true potential is beginning to really shine through now. Hey, where's Apollo anyway? Good question. I almost forgot about him. I assumed he'd still be here in the lobby. Oh, I know. Maybe he's still in courtroom number 4. Courtroom number 4? What would he be doing at the scene of the explosion? When I came out to the lobby to rest, I told Apollo about Bumrap Riley. I told him I dropped Riley in the courtroom as I was trying to escape before the blast. And then Apollo said he had an idea where Riley might be, so we went to take a look together. Huh, I guess Apollo can be pretty nice when he wants to be. So you went looking for Riley together, before you were called back into courtroom number 5? Yes. I'd had some time to rest, so I was able to go and look for him. But then they called me into courtroom number 5 to testify. Apollo insisted on staying there, though. All those injuries? I wonder how he's managing. I think Apollo might have figured something out. I wonder what it was. He told me, I'm going to look for evidence to clear your name, Juniper. Just maybe he found some new piece of evidence? Anyway, we better go and get it. Good idea. December 17, 12:11 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Where are you, Apollo? Trial's over for today. Come on, I know you're... No.
The gasp. The gasp. Oh no. He was already in bad condition earlier. To be continued. Luckily, we still have an hour and a half stream, so we're still going. Okay. Yes. December 18, 9:34 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. This isn't exactly how I envisioned the second day of this trial to start. But given how things ended yesterday... Good morning. The mood sure is tense. Not that that's any surprise. Oh, hey, did you read the paper this morning, boss? The paper? That came out of left field. You didn't read it? Then you don't know the big news. Somebody spotted an abominable snowman way up in the mountains. Tell me you know the difference between a paper and a tabloid, Athena. It might show up in the forest where you live, Junie. So you better watch out, okay? You really should read the story for yourself. I couldn't even begin to do it justice. Justice? Huh? Oh, poor Paulo. It's all my fault. Athena. Oh, Junie, what was I thinking? I'm so sorry. What we found yesterday was not Apollo's dead body, thank goodness. He'd been assaulted by someone with a blow to his head and was lying unconscious. We rushed him to the hospital right away, and it looks like he's going to pull through. But it was still quite a shock to stumble onto a scene like that. Is Ms. Woods all right, Athena? Well, I managed to get her to stop crying. Now she's resting on that sofa over there. I guess she really feels responsible for what happened to Apollo. Poor Junie. She believes the reason Apollo was attacked is because he was helping her look for something in that courtroom. Oh, guess I can see why she'd think that. By the way, how are you doing? Oh, me? Yeah, you. I know you're concerned about Miss Woods, but are you all right? Me? I'm doing just fine, boss. I mean, yeah, it was a huge shock, but I'm all right. People who study analytical psychology are great at times like these. After all, they've learned how to control their own emotions, too. Okay, theory and practice. Gotta work on bridging those. They don't come just like that. Somehow, I don't think it's as easy as she makes it sound. But there's no denying she's a real trooper. Apollo doesn't remember a thing, does he? Yeah, he can't recall anything from the time right before he was assaulted. Nothing about what he was doing in courtroom number 4 or who assaulted him. The doctor said it's probably due to that hit he took to the head. Assaulted in a court of law and losing your memory at that. I know how that feels. Who in the world would do such a thing, huh, Mr. Wright? You should wait till I get my hands on the carrot hurt our Apollo. Now, Athena, I thought you said you were in control of your emotions. Let's just focus on helping Miss Woods, okay? But I admit I'm just as upset as you. Okay, boss, you're right. Apollo's assailant can wait till after we clear Junie's name. That's the spirit. Now, let's see. I'd better check the court record one more time before the trial starts. I'm going to do that before he says anything about what the heck. Oh, the bomb transport case. The missing remote switch. We did, those were in there. Well, Case 10-8 and Detective Arm transported the bomb in. Yeah. Okay. Switch for the countdown, not examinable. Detective Arm. Okay, and then do we also... Different tab. We have new people here. Ted 10-8. A police bomb specialist. He was in charge of handling the bomb that exploded in the courtroom. Gasp in pain. The prosecuting attorney. The younger brother of another prosecutor I know. This one likes presents too.
Blaze officer.
Blaze officer. No. Right. Athena Sykes. A young rookie lawyer at our agency. She's also our client's friend. Okay, I think we've seen everybody else. The victim in this case. A detective who was heading up the investigation into a bombing incident. Okay, oh, that updated. Assaulted during the trial yesterday. Thankfully he's going to be okay, but he's still at the hospital undergoing treatment. She's our client in this case, a kind-hearted girl who loves nature. She apparently lives in the forest. Okay, alright. Iris to Mr. Wright. I'm ready whenever you are. Alright, let's get ready to rumble. You bet. With everything that happened with Apollo, I didn't have time for a proper investigation. I can't let that stop me, though. I have to get this right for Ms. Woods' sake, and Apollo's too. December 18, 9:50 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5. Day 2. Court is now in session. All rise. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is also ready, Your Honor. Now then, I believe I instructed the prosecution to further their investigation. Were you able to locate the remote switch in question?
I'm afraid the remote switch is still missing, Your Honor.
I must say I'm disappointed, Mr. Payne. Not angry, just disappointed.
I apologize, Your Honor.
Aha! Looks like the prosecution is just as unprepared as I am.
There's a separate matter, however, that I would like to bring up during this trial.
A separate matter, you say? And what might that be?
I assume you're aware that another incident occurred during yesterday's trial. I'm speaking, of course, of the assault on Mr. Justice in the ruins of courtroom number 4.
Uh-oh. Why is he bringing that up? Yes, what a truly harrowing experience it must have been. Poor Mr. Justice.
At the time of the attack, Mr. Justice was not alone. He was with the defendant, Ms. Juniper Woods.
He isn't going where I think he's going with this, is he?
The prosecution wishes to indict Ms. Woods on the charge of Mr. Justice's assault.
Order. Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the incident under deliberation
Such
here
empty.
is the courtroom bombing. Empty? The assault on Mr. Justice has nothing to do with this trial.
Courtroom.
Oh, You know, because if they're going to start having to animate everybody, they're going to keep it down.
But I believe there is a connection between this case and Mr. Justice's assault. Please take a moment to consider these facts. Both events occurred in courtroom number 4. This is the location in courtroom number 4 where the unconscious Mr. Justice was discovered. As you can see, it's quite close to where Detective Arm's body was found.
Courtroom number 4 diagram added to the court record. A diagram of the courtroom as it was when Apollo was discovered after the assault.
The question is, why did the culprit feel the need to maliciously attack Mr. Justice?
Why indeed? What do you believe their motive to be, Mr. Payne?
I believe Mr. Justice found something in that courtroom while Ms. Woods was with him. Evidence that fingered her as the perpetrator of the bombing.
You mean you found some incriminating evidence?
Precisely. And so I surmise that the defendant picked up a piece of rubble and hit Mr. Justice on the back of the head in order to silence him.
Objection!
Joni would never do such a thing. She was devastated when we found Apollo hurt like that.
Miss Sykes, please control your outbursts.
It is the prosecution's belief that by deliberating on Mr. Justice's assault, we will draw ever closer to the truth of the courtroom bombing itself.
Very well. Ms. Woods is hereby officially indicted on the charge of assaulting Mr. Justice. What? Why are you listening to Mr. Toupee over there? Although, considering our conversation yesterday...
I think Apollo might have figured something out.
I wonder what it was.
He told me, I'm gonna look for evidence to clear your name, Juniper.
Maybe the two incidents really are related after all.
I would like to start by hearing from the defendant herself.
Very well. Bailiff, please bring Miss Woods to the witness stand.
I'm sorry. I can't seem to stop. Ms. Woods. Guess she's still really upset about Apollo. Ms. Woods, you went to the ruins of courtroom number 4 with Mr. Justice, did you not? Yes, I did. Good, good. If you would, then please testify about what happened to the court.
Witness testimony. Alone with Apollo.
During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Apollo stayed with me and we went to the courtroom ruins together. Then I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony. Apollo insisted on staying behind the courtroom number 4. I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person?
So Mr. Justice stayed by your side while you were feeling unwell. What an admirable young man. I thought his loud voice was his only outstanding feature.
He may look like a little imp at times, but Apollo can be really nice too.
I hope she didn't hurt her wrist backhanding that one out. But one has to wonder, why did Mr. Justice stay behind in the ruins?
I think Apollo might have figured something out.
Something? What kind of something?
Something to do with the courtroom bombing kind of something, I think.
Oh, new evidence for the case, was it? That's a very big kind of something indeed.
I believe so. He mentioned looking for some evidence when I was called away.
Objection!
Just as I thought, there is a connection between the two incidents. But the defendant has told a very big lie, Your Honor.
What lie is that?
When she learned Mr. Justice would be looking for evidence, she attacked him. She attacked him to give herself the chance to destroy that evidence.
No, I never.
Objection!
Ms. Woods repaid Mr. Justice's kindness with violence. We found the proof of her foul deed there in the courtroom ruins, the heckin' cake.
Oh no. Why did Apollo write 5 doom on the ground? What on earth?
Do you see it? There in front of Mr. Justice's right hand. Witness the message he left us.
It's written in blood. W-O-O-D-S. Why isn't that?
And that's right, Your Honor. It says Woods in capital letters.
What?
I submit that Mr. Justice left us with the name of his attacker before he fainted.
Apollo's assault photo added in the court record. Apollo is shown collapsed on the floor. The bloody writing is also visible. No, that can't be true. Why would Apollo write my name? Let me take a look at these things.
Woods.
Where's he getting this blood from? That's a good question, number one. Like you'd expect, lots of blood for such clear finger paint. There's no other blood anywhere. Also, wow. That S sure looks like a 5. Hold on a second, too. Going to zoom into this. Look at this. Why is there more marks after wood? Zoom, zoom, zoom. What is this? What is she going to write? What is he going to write? Woodsy? Woods teller? Woods take the secret that we found and run somewhere else with? I don't. Okay. Why would Apollo write my name? Mr. Ryan, the nerve of him leaving that message. Why would he do this? Hey, don't take it out on me. I don't understand it any more than you do. When we discovered Apollo yesterday... Apollo? No. We didn't even have a chance to rush over to him. As soon as security heard Athena's scream, they ran in and cordoned off the area. After that, they were there in courtroom number 4 with Apollo the whole time. We couldn't investigate anything ourselves and had to leave everything to the police. Still, I never thought they would find some bloody writing there. Now then, please begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Cross-examination. Alone with Apollo. During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing.
Hold it!
Do you always cough when you get nervous, Ms. Woods? Yes. Mr. Wright, please do not make Ms. Woods nervous by pressing her so ruthlessly. But that barely even qualified as a quasi-question. Let's help her relax with a little small talk before we dive into the cross-examination. You know, ask her about her hobbies and her crushes and stuff. Her crushes? Really? I don't know about this. Apollo stayed with me and we went to the courtroom ruins together.
Hold it!
Why exactly did you go to the courtroom ruins? We went to look for my medicine to stop my cough. Your medicine? Why would your medicine be in courtroom number 4? I dropped it in the heat of the moment. Bum Rap Riley, he was keeping my medicine safe for me. He has a little compartment that I can put things in, you see. And Phony Fatty has the same type of pocket, and that's where the bomb was inserted. I'd put my medicine for my coffin fits inside Bum Rap Riley. When I told Apollo about it, he said he'd have me go look for him. There was so much rubble in there, I was worried, but there was no rubble or anything in front of the witness stand. So when we got inside, Apollo went straight there and started looking for my Ronnie in that area. It was so nice of him to do that for me in spite of all his injuries. Apollo's so strong and kind, just like the trees of the forest. The way she makes him sound, you'd think Apollo was some kind of ancient god. Well, oh, wait. So that's why you went to the ruins. I see. That seems to be quite an important fact. Please add it to your testimony, Ms. Woods. Okay. Apollo started looking for Bob Rap Ryan near the witness stand, where there was no rubble.
Hold it!
The area around the witness stand, are you sure about that? I'm sorry. Did I say something wrong? No, of course not. I was just testing my hearing. Must not upset her. Must not upset her. Yes. I'm sure that's where we searched first. But then I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony.
Hold it!
That was when you were called to the stand after Mr. Tenate's testimony, right? Yes. The bailiff came to courtroom number 4 and brought me back to this courtroom. So didn't the bailiff see nothing?
I keep getting ads for Jack in the Box, oh no.
Yep, see what you get. Yeah, it's really interesting. The thing is that you start seeing ads about that you never saw ads for. I touched a memory stick that was in the corner, and for some reason I started seeing an ad for that. I don't know. The magic of the algorithm is all encompassing. Yes, the bailiff came back to courtroom number 4 and brought me back to this courtroom. Again, the bailiff saw nothing. And what about Mr. Justice? Did he come with you, or did he stay behind? Apollo insisted on staying behind in courtroom number 4.
Hold it!
I'd better not ask her about Apollo. I know, I'll use some small talk here to get her to relax a bit. Do you have any hobbies, Miss Woods? Hobbies? Oh, well, I love growing vegetables in my garden. And I love to knit. I like sewing too. I made this outfit myself. Keep it up, Mr. Wright, it's working. Now ask her if she has a crush on anyone. Is there anyone in particular you like right now? Okay, come on. We should have already picked up the hint of Apollo.
Objection!
Mr. Wright, is that question even remotely related to this case?
In this case? Not really. Mr. Wright, you will refrain from asking questions unrelated to the case at hand. Sorry, Your Honor. -1 to brownie points.
Ms. Woods, please continue with your testimony. I believe you were telling the court about your attack on Mr. Justice.
I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person?
Hold it!
So you think Mr. Justice is kind? Yes, very kind. He rescued me. He's like the sun, strong and warm. He makes me feel strong, too. The only adjectives I associate with the sun are sweltering and oppressive. But then Apollo got hurt, and it's all my fault. Joni, Apollo's gonna be fine. He's just like the sun, right? Well, the sun doesn't just drop out of the sky. You really think he'll be fine? But the sun does go down at night. Then that means Apollo could. Mr. Payne, I do not think much of men who make young ladies cry. So Apollo was trying to help Juniper. Who knew that Apollo could be such a sweetheart? It must have been pretty hard on him, too, with all that rubble everywhere. Now that I think about it, there's something odd about what Apollo was able to do. You know, considering what Miss Woods said just now, I think you're right. That courtroom was in a very unusual state, after all. Which leaves the million-dollar question. What would explain this contradiction? Anyway, let's see what happens when I present what I suspect is our answer. Such as... Okay, so they went to a place in the courtroom where there was no rubble, and yet he got hit by rubble. Is that the contradiction? Because I think that's the contradiction. Like, that's a very interesting adjectival phrase. Do I show this picture here? I don't feel safe. Also, what are these options? I forget if I've looked at them. Audio, gameplay. Ooh. Wait time. Hide UI elements. Oh. I can hide the text window and see the stuff. Oh, interesting. Okay. Reader. Enable story mode in place of gameplay. Allowing you to progress through the game automatically without any pressing any buttons. The whole thing. Yeah, not going to do that, but that would be interesting to do as a show. Consultation. Oh, hint. Yeah, okay. Privacy policy. Why is there a privacy policy? Are you sharing my info? No, that's fine. Okay, so we'll go ahead and present this.
Objection!
Yeah, probably not good. I don't see any particular problem with this evidence. Whoops, I got it wrong. I'm afraid I'm forced to give you a penalty. Okay. Okay, well... Guilty. Like... No, I'm super confused. I don't know. Is it the diagram that I would show there? Well, no, because... She says woods. Woods. Ah. So bad at this sometimes. So... Okay, so... Porter was in an unusual state. Something odd about what Apollo was able to do. Right. So how is he able to write without all that blood? Or... How is he going to insist on staying behind in the courtroom when... Like, we see all these, contradictions. Okay, so let's say that the problem is she thinks he's kind and he's fingering her for death. I don't... Well, but that's like... That's not winning my case, you know. I'm trying to protect her. And, you know, she's like, I didn't attack him. Well, then why does the evidence say that you did? Bark. I'm gonna do it, though.
Objection!
Oh, no. The witness's statement clearly contradicts this piece of evidence, Your Honor. And what exactly about the testimony is inconsistent with that? I apologize, Your Honor. I seem to have made a slight miscalculation. You never change, do you? Let this be a lesson to always take every factor into account, Mr. Wright. Ouch. I guess I should have seen that one coming. Hydrate? Yeah, we can do that. Heck. Alright, let's get the cells. Because I know what my contradiction... I know what seems to be contradictory, but I don't know how I translate that into evidence transmit at point. Bark. Mr. Wright, I think I have something here. You said something wrong with the testimony. That's right. Let me show you which statement I thought was strange. Thanks, that would be a big help. Now I just have to compare the evidence with the statement she points out. Apollo started looking for Bum Rap Ryan near the witness stand. There was no rub. Okay, so... Hold on a second. Like, there's some rubble. Was that near the witness stand? I don't know where she was at the time. Inside stuffed animal. So is it just this? But that's not contradictory. There's no... And we already tried submitting that, so... Okay, nothing about that. Probably not. If it isn't this, I'm just gonna bark.
Objection!
Okay. So we started a search with the witness stand, you say? That's right. I guess maybe he wanted to start from the furthest point in the room. Is it really? Is it not literally the door right behind it, just like there? How many doors into this room are there? I don't... He was being so brave and strong.
All of them.
All of them. But that's odd. Under the circumstances, he shouldn't have been capable of that. But it was. And he still is. He might not look it, but he really is brave. And kind, too. No, that's not the part I'm finding fault with. Someone has a crush on Apollo. What you're claiming is something that no one should have been able to do. But I should think that anyone can be brave and kind if they wanted to be, Mr. Right. True, anyone can be brave and kind, but if you would please, take a look at his diagram. With a courtroom in this state, how was it possible to walk up to the witness stand? The whole staircase and door thing behind back. Oh.
The door?
I see your point. The rubble blocks off access to the area around the witness stand.
Does such a tiny inconsistency even matter? Perhaps the witness is simply misremembering it.
Great. Now I'm not so sure it matters.
A real man
The
doesn't
witness
make
stand
mountains out
isn't
of
inaccessible.
molehills, you know.
But that's precisely what Mr. Wright does best. I call slander, Your Honor. So, was it really impossible to approach the witness stand? No. I have to say it's a bit hard to tell with any accuracy from just this diagram. Mr. Payne, do you have any other photos of the crime scene?
Let me see, Your Honor. Yes, I have one more. Here it is. It's a more pulled back version of the photo I presented before.
Oh, good heck, the tank is there. Apollo's assault photo updated in the court record.
Looks like it was moved.
Yeah, like how did it get there in the first place? It wasn't in the diagram. Bark. Huh? What's that hunk of metal on wheels? Mr. Payne, is the metallic object in that photo Mr. Tenate's bomb transport case?
That's right. Is there some problem?
Yes. That transport case was there in courtroom number 4 when the bomb went off. It must have been there ever since. Oh, that's it. Ms. Woods, have you remembered something? Yes, I just realized. Its position is different from before. But yeah, door right behind her. She's in the witness stand. Door. Its position is different from before. Its position? The position of what? The position of that big metal thing. The bomb transport case? Yes. When Apollo and I went there, it was in a different place. Where the case is in the photo was open. Where the case is in the photo was open space, so it was easy to search the stand. I see. So where was the transport case when you and Mr. Justice saw it? As I recall, I think it was more to the right. To the right? Then that means it was on top of where it said Woods? In that case, the case was over there at the time of Apollo's attack. Wouldn't that be something? Apollo didn't write Woods, but the actual victim that she's on trial for destroying might have written it. Detective Arm. And it was just left there, overnight. Or whatever. No. In that case, the case was over there at the time of Apollo's attack. Who cares when the transport case was when? What difference does it make? It has nothing at all to do with what we were talking
Objection!
about. Where the transport case was has everything to do with this discussion. In fact, it's so important that it's enough to turn the prosecution's argument on its ear.
What?
Well, that certainly sounds very relevant indeed. And you sound as though you know where the case was at the time of the attack. Yes, Your Honor. This diagram represents the crime scene as shown in the photo. And this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault on Mr. Justice. Alright, I have this. The bomb transport case was here at the time of Apollo's attack. Right there where it says, Wood 5. S. Doom.
Take that!
Your Honor, I assert that this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault. But that's...
Inconceivable.
Ms. Woods, was this where the transport case was when you saw it? Yes. Yes, that's where it was. Thank you, Ms. Woods. I'm sure the court has noted an interesting fact about this position. The transport case covers up the writing in blood. Exactly. If the transport case was in that position at the time of the assault, then no message could have been written there because the case was in the way. Which leads us to conclude that Mr. Justice couldn't have left that bloody writing.
Objection!
Why should we believe the defendant's claim that the case was in a different position? She's obviously lying.
Objection!
The fact the case was moved after the assault on Mr. Justice is proved by more than Ms. Wood's testimony alone. Hold on, we have multiple pictures. Oh yeah, you got the tracks of the case, yeah. Was that not in the... It was in the first one, but only just. Okay. Okay, so what we're seeing here, again, is that the bomb case, when it moved, left tracks on the tile. Bark, bark. Oh! And that track ran over Apollo's scarf. So it was actually moved after he fell. That's what we're talking about. I will show that on the screen here. Yes. The schmutz of
Well,
the...
bandages.
Bandages, yeah, the scarf, whatever. The streaming fabric. Okay, anyway, it's proved by more than Ms. Wood's testimony alone.
What? And where is this proof you're talking about?
It's right here in the crime photo. I'm keen to see this proof myself, Mr. Wright. What in this photo indicates that the transport case was moved after the assault? Okay, this one moment here where it overran the bandagios.
Take that!
Please take a look at the mark that runs over Mr. Justice's bandages here. Oh, I see it, but what is it? This mark was made by one of the casters from the transport case carrying the bomb. As the case was moved, it ran over his bandages. In other words, the transport case was originally to the right of Mr. Justice. Then, after Mr. Justice was assaulted, the transport case was moved.
What?
Just as Ms. Woods said, the case was covering the writing at the time of the assault.
Weird name for wheels.
Yeah, so casters are those, they're like not necessarily wheels, but they can, the things they rotate in all directions, you know? That like, yeah. It's a word.
Bark, bark, bark.
Therefore, it was impossible for Mr. Justice to have left that message in blood. Yeah. I'm not even going to try that. You did it, boss. It was a real nail biter, but you pulled it off. Yep. That should bring down the prosecution's claim like a house of cards. Order. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, that was a very clever deduction. That was nothing, Your Honor. Nothing but pure genius. Take that. Boss, I'm sensing a definite smirk and bragging rob coming off you. I have just one question, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
If Mr. Justice didn't leave this message in blood, then who did?
I mean, you're gonna have to, like, examine the blood, aren't you? I don't know.
Huh?
What? Oh. Well, looks like I should have taken that train of thought through to the last station. Well, I've heard a lot about this. So this is Mr. Wright's famous bluffing technique, is it?
Ah, this feeling. It brings back memories of the old days. Back when you carved out a name for yourself by bluffing your way through thick and thin.
Gee, Mr. Wright, the judge kind of makes you sound no better than a two-bit con man. You made your argument with such
Bluffing.
confidence, Mr. Wright.
Bluffing. Well, it's like, you know, just because we say, oh, this case is significant, clearly it was moved, but, you know, we don't have anything to show. For example, the insane moon logic that, well, maybe Ms. Woods knocked out Apollo, moved the case, and wrote her own name in blood. Because, you know, why don't you? It's like Woods was here.
Anyway, you made your argument with such confidence, Mr. Wright. Now I'd like to hear your answer with just as much confidence.
Hey, until the judge asked the question, you didn't catch on either, Buster.
What now, boss? I hope you didn't bluff your way into a corner.
Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way through this. I have to dig my way to the truth somehow. Who could have written that message in blood? The culprit? Apollo? Someone else? What do you mean, the culprit? Who is the culprit? That's not an excessively helpful thing. But also, who is the culprit? We can't just say, I mean...
Literally Edgeworth and Franziska during the early days, hiding and fabricating evidence.
Yeah, and that's why they have Phony Fanty and Bad Rap Riney to try and campaign against this sort of thing. Okay, who could have written the message in blood? I mean, they want us to believe it was Apollo, so it wasn't Apollo. I mean, it could be whoever beat him up is likely the one who maybe wanted to frame Juniper for this and could have written her name instead. Alternatively, again, this could be left over from the trial yesterday. Some just random person wrote Woods on, I don't know. I mean, the culprit is the... the other thing, okay. If it wasn't the culprit, then you have to also posit that there's a whole other period for some whole other person to come in, move the card, write the name. And who's going to do that? Nobody. But that's not helpful. If Apollo didn't leave that bloody writing, maybe it was Apollo's attacker who wrote it and made it look like Apollo did it? Well, that seems like the most reasonable explanation. But wait a minute. I just realized something, boss. What is it? Look at the amount of blood in the photo. It doesn't look like Apollo blood very much. That's what I said. I wonder if it's even possible to write out words with just as much. And again, there's more! You can see even more of the more that's there. Look at this! It's an F! Is it an F? Oh no. That's definitely an M upside down. but the D is really very upside downy. Woo! This. I mean, that is an F, right? If it ends there.
Woo D5F.
Yeah, is that related to any of the, Good thing Apollo didn't lose that much blood. Big Shakes 3000. Huh. Like it might be like a bomb serial number or something. Yeah, Sigma OO. Read it downwards. D5. Anyway, good thing Apollo didn't lose that much blood. That might be a factor in why he survived the assault. Since there was so little blood, that pretty much rules out his attacker, huh? I guess so. But if it wasn't his attacker, then who else could it have been? Who could have written that message in blood? Okay, someone else, fine. If it wasn't Apollo, who could have left a bloody message? Well, I mean, we don't like Ted to Nate. But also, the victim had lots of blood. It was Apollo. Are we gonna finger Ted to Nate? I mean, we know that he's on the, it's his card. Well... He's also the only person who is alive today. Like, she's not alive. She was dead.
Take that!
I don't know. But this person of the bloody writing. And what do you base this claim on? Do I really need to base my claim on something? Us? Of course you do. Don't tell me you don't have anything at all to back up your assertion. Nothing in particular, really. No! That won't do, Mr. Wright, but a penalty will make up for your deficiency very nicely. Okay, so then let's say it was Detective Arm. So when Apollo was attacked...
He's the only conscious person seen going in and out the room.
So wasn't Apollo his attacker? When you think about who was at the crime scene, there's only one other person who could really be. Oh yeah, wasn't there another person who shed blood at the crime scene? There we go, yeah. Arn.
Take that!
To be honest, I don't actually have any real proof of this, but I've come this far and there's no turning back now. Besides Apollo, there was one more person who shed blood at this crime scene. Person who shed blood? You don't mean... Oh, but I do. I believe it was Candace Arm who left behind this message in blood. What? Okay, so also, that rotated view... You see, that is the main entrance into the courtroom, behind the witness. The whole, how would anyone get anywhere?
Okay, now there's people.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, sometimes there's people, you can see other people behind them now. What? Detective Arm? Are you sure you know what you're doing here? Not really.
Objection!
What kind of ridiculous assertion is that? If you had said the attacker left a message to throw people off, it might have made sense.
At first glance, that would seem to be the most reasonable explanation. However, hey, Dogai, welcome in. Apollo didn't shed enough blood to write such an extensive message.
Uh-oh.
I see. Even the photo makes it clear there wasn't enough blood to write all those letters. Hydrate? Yeah, I guess I could do that. Like, mm. Mr. Justice did survive. I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively in that case.
Also, I just realized the words are slightly different tint than blood red.
I mean, while that might be true, the colors of blood are very variable, and it's hard to know what the artist would have taken the liberty for. Like, that also looks like blood.
Looks more like lipstick.
Some of the movements, yeah. Like, even if you don't take it as, being the wrong color, this stuff isn't smearing like a fluid would. Those O's are very clean. And Mr. Justice did survive. I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively in that case.
But why would Detective R write the defendant's name? There is no connection between the two whatsoever.
Is that not literally what she's on trial for killing her? And I didn't even know who the lady... And I didn't
Yeah,
even
and
know
blood
the lady
streaks.
was killed.
Plus there would have been blood spots from the dripping finger.
Blood streak. Well, there is... Well... Yeah, I mean, his finger was bloodied for some reason, and that's a whole different shenanigan. See that? Okay, so... Alright, so this completely reverses everything. If...
Well, blood is generally really runny.
Yeah, but then, this is a whole day later, at least. Apollo is in here. He finds perhaps... Well, he doesn't find this piece of evidence. So who put his finger in to, like, test the stuff? It's all very weird.
I admit the investigation didn't turn up any connection between the victim and defendant. They never even met each other.
That's very true. Well then, let's see. Then maybe the intended meaning of the message is not what it appears to be. The intended meaning? Not what it appears to be. Maybe the message was not intended to be Woods. Coming from you, that's quite the bold statement, Mr. Wright. You wish to assert that this bloody writing could have some other meaning? Yes, Your Honor, I do. Woo, D5F. For something I pulled out of a wormhole, it could turn out to be true, right?
Objection!
It clearly says Woods, as anyone can plainly see. What other meaning could it possibly have?
Objection!
But Candace Arm was a detective. Maybe Woods only means something to the police. Like a police scanner code, for example. I didn't think of that.
You may have tricked his honor, but you'll never get the best of me.
Wow, the judge is kinda even more of a dick to Phoenix than normal in this case.
Yeah, so he's kind of made it clear that he's familiar with Phoenix's shtick and is tired of it.
I have a thing for studying on the weekends, as you may have already guessed.
Yeah, you have your, courtesy courses?
And there is no such radio code as Woods in this state, dear Mr. Wright.
Is that a fact? Don't look at me, I know how much you do about police codes.
State.
Yeah, we live in, California. Wait, didn't we do the math on this at one point? Because in like one of the very first cases, like the time difference between Paris and this was relevant to the time zone that a statue clock was in. I think we determined it was West Coast. But it's been a long time and I don't remember.
5 hours or something yet.
Enough of this. I was quite taken with the defense's new theory. But if they can't substantiate it with anything, then I must end things here.
No, please wait, Your Honor.
Very well, but before we discuss this theory any further, I demand a plausible explanation. So, Mr. Wright, what is the true meaning of the bloody writing?
Well, I believe it's...
And no stalling. If you can't come up with an answer quickly, I will declare this discussion officially over.
I'm in trouble now. What other meaning could it have besides the obvious one? Maybe it means something in another language? Or maybe it's a code? Think, Phoenix. You can do this.
Which piece of evidence will tell us what the word woods really means? Okay, so... hold on. I don't have... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. L100 15R. No. Because it could be R, right? Yeah, L100. 15, yeah, that's it. L100 15R. L100 15R, and then there's more written on it. That and that. They're the same mensaje.
Take that!
The bomb transport case? I've about had it up to here with your shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
Take a look at the numbers on this case, Your Honor. L100-15R. Doesn't this string look vaguely familiar?
L100. What does that have to do with anything?
What could those numbers possibly have to do with the case at hand? Now, please take a look at the bloody writing shown in the crime photo.
Oh, I think I see it.
That a girl. That's one on my side.
It says woods.
Or you could say it's a horse of a different color, Your Honor. The first character isn't a W, it's actually an L and a 1. The next two are zeros.
Oh, my goodness.
The true meaning behind the bloody writing isn't Miss Wood's name. It's the number engraved on this bomb transport case.
Objection!
What are you talking about? The next part doesn't make any sense. The next number is a 1, but the bloody writing says D.
Objection!
But the number on the case and the bloody writing can be made to match up quite easily. This is how the number on the transport case can be made to match the bloody writing.
Erase one line, erase two lines, read it backward. We're going to have to look at it, won't we? We can see them both like this. 1, 5. Okay, and so like there's one line and I see 2 extra lines. Yeah. The D, one making the one into a D, and one with the bar. Erase 2 lines? What do you mean, read it backwards? Is that also a possibility? That's not a W. No. Erase 2 lines, maybe. I don't know.
Please erase the third downward stroke of the W and the curved part of the D.
Wow, would you look at that? Lewis?
No, Your Honor, it isn't meant to be read as a word. It's the number L10015, which, if you take away the final R, is the exact same number that's on the bomb transport case.
Objection!
Erase 2 lines and they match up, you say? Well, I can change anything into anything else simply by erasing 2 lines. What if we erase 2 lines from your name? Would you be happy as Mr. Right?
Well, would you, Mr. Rye? The only right spelling is right. Okay, I'm doing pretty well here, and I think I've drawn the right conclusion. Detective Arm's real message to us is the bomb transport case number. Your Honor, the 2 lines were added by the real culprit to intentionally mislead people.
What?
The original message Detective Arm left behind was the transport case number. But whoever assaulted Apollo changed the message. If you're right, boss, then what do you suppose Detective Arm was trying to tell us? Good question. What does this number represent? You see this number here? That is my identification number. Candace Arm lost her life in the courtroom bombing. Her dying message could only have had one purpose.
No.
To tell us the name of the one responsible for the bombing. Well, don't keep us in suspense, Mr. Wright. Tell us who she was trying to name. The culprit that the victim was trying to identify is none other than Ted Tenate.
Take that!
The defense wishes to indict Mr. Ted Tenate on the charge of the courtroom bombing. Ted Tenate? Apparently, disabling bombs isn't Mr. Tenate's only specialty.
Oh, I get it, detonate.
Yes. Somehow the victim must have realized that he was the bomber. So when she was caught in the blast, she left his bomb transport case number as her dying message. She used Mr. Tenate's own ID number to finger him for the crime.
Objection!
Why would anyone go out of their way to write an ID number? Wouldn't they simply write the person's name?
If you don't know the person's name. He's got a good point there. What do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright? That only Detective Arm would know the answer to that, but allow me to offer a theory. Perhaps Detective Arm couldn't recall Mr. Tenate's name in the heat of the moment. As I recall, this was the first meeting between the two. It's entirely possible they wouldn't have been familiar with each other. Or maybe using the ID number was a way to hide its true meaning from the real culprit. Well, not successful at that. Thus lowering the odds that they would erase the bloody rat. But no matter what the reason, the important thing is the meaning behind her message. The fact remains she wrote Mr. Tenate's ID number.
Objection!
Just one moment here. There hasn't been any proof yet that it was indeed Detective Arm who wrote it. The bloody writing wasn't found during the investigation after the blast. If Detective Arm had left the message, it should have been found at that time, unless there was a case on top of it.
Objection!
Naturally, Mr. Tenate hid it before anyone could discover it. And there's a simple explanation for how he was able to do so.
What?
Mr. Tenate was able to cover the message up because he's... Oh no. First to find the body, stickler for details, wearing those weird goggles. First to find the body? I guess? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it makes sense. Allow me to make a foolish save here. Overwriting the save we already have in this slot. The first person to discover the bloody writing was Mr. Tenate himself. I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. I went there to ensure safety, but I ended up discovering a dead body. Okay. When Mr. Tennate saw that the victim had written his ID number, he used the bomb transport case to cover up the bloody writing as a stopgap measure. Oh, so that's why the message in blood was under the transport case. He didn't have enough time to try and scrub away the writing. If he didn't report the body right away, he would look suspicious. So those letters lived on to serve another function. When Mr. Tennate used them in another incident. Oh, the assault on Mr. Justice. Exactly. Mr. Tennate hit upon a plan to use the bloody writing for his own purposes. So he didn't clean it away. Instead, he made it look like Mr. Justice wrote it. By adding 2 lines to the writing that Detective Arm left behind. He changed the meaning of the message. He made it look like Mr. Justice was accusing Ms. Woods of the attack. So that means the only person who could have altered the bloody writing was the courtroom bomber, who was the same person that assaulted Mr. Justice. And that person is Ted Tennate. Order in the court. Order, I say. It looks like we'll have to hear from the bomb specialist himself. Mr. Payne, please have Mr. Tennate take the witness stand.
Yes, Your Honor. That was great, Mr.
Just doing what I do best, which is flying by the seat of my pants. Dismantling the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try. I've finally drawn Mr. Tennate back to under the witness stand. Looks like you'll get your wish, Goggle Man. Now watch me take your lies apart. Mr. Tennate, I'm afraid we have a few more questions for you. I understand the situation, Your Honor. I was keeping a close eye on the proceedings from the gallery. The allegations are all laughable.
Objection!
I wouldn't be laughing if I were you, Mr. Tennate. The message in blood matches your ID number. The same ID number that is there on that bomb transport case. Such a far-fetched theory, no better than a tangled ball of wires. I'll have them untangled for you in no time at all. You were the first person on the scene after Detective Arm left her message in blood. You were the only one who could have hidden the writing and then used it again later. I see, ×2, but then let me ask you. Do you have any proof that Detective Army wrote that message? That's a very good question. Well, do you, Mr. Wright? The best way to prove that Detective Arm wrote that message is to analyze the DNA? Could we not? Your Honor, I request that a DNA test be performed on the blood itself. Once we know whose it is, it will be obvious as to who wrote the message. Very well. Bailiff, please put in a request for a DNA test with the forensics team. Yes, Your Honor. It'll be some time before we have the results of the analysis. Until then, let's hear more from the witness. I would like nothing more, Your Honor. I want the court to hear how ridiculous the defense's theory is. Witness testimony. After the explosion. I admit I was the first one on the scene after the explosion, but there was no bloody writing there at the time. Anyway, there is no way Detective Army could have written it. She struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. She was too far away from the bloody message. She was too far away from where the bloody message was found. That's... So you're saying that the victim's body was nowhere near where the writing was? Precisely. It is as plain as day that she could not have written it.
It's true that the body was discovered near the entrance to the courtroom. Please have a look at this crime scene photo. As you can see, there is blood on the rubble near the victim's body. She must have died after hitting her head there.
Courtroom bombing photo added to the court record. Crime scene photo of the aftermath of courtroom number 4 bombing and the victim. I see. I want to see. Okay, and this is the same photo as in the autopsy? Well, kind of. Well, kind of. It's a different angle, to be sure. Okay. Just think about the problem with that. Alright, I see. Alright then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Do you have what it takes to take my infallible testimony apart? Cross-examination. After the explosion. I admit I was the first one on the scene after the explosion.
Hold it!
Why were you the first person on the scene? To secure the area. It is regulation for a bomb disposal specialist to enter first. In other words, you had the opportunity to alter the bloody writing then, didn't you? Well...
Objection!
Mr. Wright, please don't interrupt. Mr. Tennant is about to give testimony that will show just how wrong your reasoning is.
Darn, I think you was just about to say something interesting, too. When I went in and saw the aftermath, well, it was quite the disaster. But there was no bloody writing there at the time.
Hold it!
You were able to tell this even with those goggles on? With these goggles, there is no way I could have missed something like that. I can see quite well with them. In fact, I can see every hair on your spiky head. Oh, you have a few grays, Mr. Wright.
What?
Oh, Mr. Wright, you're always working so hard keeping our office together.
Wait a minute, I don't have any gray hairs.
Just kidding.
Objection!
I object to the witness's attempt to prematurely give me gray hair.
Mr. Tonight, this court frowns
It's hard to
upon-
see red with red leans.
But I don't think he has red lenses. It's not like Godot from the other Bark Bark. I mean, when we see his eyes through them, they look clear. But, you know, Mr. Tonight, this court frowns upon untoward comments on a person's hair or lack thereof. I'm sensing a great wave of sorrow coming from the judge. My apologies, Your Honor. May I please continue my testimony? Anyway, there is no way Detective Army could have written it.
Hold it!
If she didn't write it, then who do you propose did? Mr. Justice, of course. Just before dying, he wrote the name of his attacker, Juniper Woods. He's not dead!
A final message from your poor subordinate.
Oh, Mr. Justice, I'm starting to get all misty-eyed. Apollo is not dead, folks. So I can be sure one Detective Armor wrote the message. It is very simple. She had struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance.
Hold it!
Do you imagine she was thrown back by the force of the blast? A bomb can inflict damage not only from the explosion itself, but also substantial secondary damage from the blast wind.
Detective Arm unfortunately hit her head on some rubble. It's stated in her autopsy report as well. Cause of death, trauma to back of head.
Ah, the autopsy report. I'd better take another look at that. Okay, cause of death, trauma to back of head, caused by impact with a flat object. Time of death between 8 and 11. That ain't no flat object, them's corners. Now do you see? Detective Army could not have written that message. The reason for that being, she was too far away from where the bloody message was found.
Hold it!
Isn't it possible she could have crawled to the area of the bloody message? If that were true, then how did she return to the spot near the entrance? Maybe she crawled back after writing it? Or HMPH. Hey, did this guy just me?
Would you like to get down on the floor and give us a demonstration of your theory?
Huh? No, thank you. Victim's body and the writing are several yards away from each other. There's no way she could reach.
Quite the conundrum.
So that means something is off somewhere. There must be a contradiction. Maybe the body was moved? But that didn't explain how blood got onto the rubble. What if that was done by the real culprit after the fact? If that's the case, then something about that might contradict the evidence we have. Yes, flat versus cornered. Okay, so we're going to find...
Oh no, extreme lag.
Oh no, it's back to green now, so, well, I don't show it having gone into bad zone. It might be a your end thing. Okay, so she took her out of Okay, so this is a problem. This is a problem because the autopsy said she was struck by a flat object. I hope this is the piece and the place it is shown.
Objection!
You are a terrible liar, Mr. Tennate. Take a look at this autopsy, specifically the part about Detective Arm's head injury. You lost some frames for a bit. Oh, here we're going out. Yeah, I see it turning red. Green. Yellow. See if it comes back to normal. Alright. Oh no. We're fading out. So terrible. We gotta get through this. Because it's the end of the stream soon. Oh no. Right, take a look at this autopsy, specifically the part about Detective Arm's head injury. Cause of death, trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. Yes, what about it? Now take a good look at the bloody piece of rubble. It's not that terrible. Yeah, it's not in the bad range, but it might pop out at any point. We have bad internet. It's sharp and pointed. Hi, you're right, boss. It is point. Just like your hair. That is odd, isn't it? What could be the meaning of this contradiction? I believe it means the victim did not hit her head on this piece of rubble. The bloodstain you see is just another fabrication. Its purpose is to mislead us into thinking the victim died near the courtroom entrance.
Are you claiming that the culprit moved the victim's body?
That's exactly what I'm claiming. The victim hit her head at some other location. Most likely on the floor or some other flat surface. The judge's eyes look so sunken with these graphics. Yeah, it's an effect kind of thing. And this location was somewhere near where the bloody writing was found. In that case, she definitely could have written the message. Your Honor, I have the results of the blood stain analysis. Ah, very good timing. Let's take a look. According to this report, the message was written in Detective Arm's blood. And as the defense claims, only the parts of the message that were added afterwards were written in Mr. Justice's blood. It would appear that the defense's assertion is correct after all. Bloody writing analysis added to the court record. A report that proves that the writing was done in Detective Arm's blood. Yes, you did it. You're right, boss. Take a look at this. Bloody writing analysis. DNA analysis definitively proves that the blood of the writing to be that of the victim, Candace Arm, age 27. However, the lines that were added later were found to be written in the blood of Apollo Justice, age 23. Now I have to drive it home. I'll have to take a good look at the bloody writing analysis later. Mr. Tonight, it is now apparent that you have told several lies to this court. I hope you have some sort of explanation for yourself. Fine, I will confess. You will? But then why are you so calm? This time I will tell the truth. More testimony! Okay, we don't have time to begin a new testimony. Can I pause this here? Yes. We will continue next time on Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Dual Destinies. Good heck. Okay.